Well, this is a video about universal credit. It wasn't going to be, but due to you couldn't make it up, right? The incompetence knows no bounds, right? So basically, I've got to have on universal credit. You have to have an appointment every 2 or 3 weeks, right? Now they'll probably start accepting people into job centres. There's no need because what's the point? You can do it on the phone. So like now, I had an appointment with my job centre. I've got an appointment with a job centre coach who has phoned me up to tell me that can you come in for an appointment, which I will be speaking to that job centre coach, right? But I've just had 10 minutes on the phone talking to the person now. But I've now got to get a bus to get to a job centre, to have an appointment, to go round and round and round and round in circles, not solving nothing. The incompetence of the universal credit system is beyond dire. There's a person now, a famous YouTube trucker, much experience in Europe, most people know, if you're watching truck vlogs. Had a crash, nearly died, airlifted to hospital, ambulance, by an helicopter. Right? Now, trying to get he's now had he's made a vlog about it, so it's on you just watch Universal Credit, you'll see it into YouTube. But he's had confirmation from the doctor that he can have his licence back. He's now recovered from the accident he was in. All he needs is for DVLA to give him his licence back. The doctor would have given confirmation that he can have his licence back. He's got a job to go to. Universal Credit cannot talk to DVLA. So you've got a person that's going to pay money to, because that one government department can't talk to another government department. Proper incompetence. Because the person has got to do this and talk to that department, then come back to here, then waffle to that department, whereas if the two departments communicated with each other, the person would be working today. Instead it needs money, handouts and universal credit. Me, I wasn't out of work a year and a half ago. I was in a vehicle that needed a cam belt. Universal Credit's answer to that is, no, we can't let you. I was living in my car, but I was working at the same time. And more people now are living in cars. And after the stock market, it had a bit of a dip yesterday. A lot of people lost a lot of money yesterday on the stock market. But if we go into a crash and we're at the top, so we're going to come down at some point. I don't know how fast it comes down, I don't know. There'll be a lot of people on universal credit living in cars and living in vans. They're trying to stop van life, but people can't afford to pay rent. So the universal credit just keeps on paying rent. Can't work out van life's the answer. Then you've got another situation where, so I was actually I was on universal. I was working, and living in my car and working, driving a truck, right? Having a great time. But I just come through the quiet month of January and February on agency. Couldn't afford a cam belt, right? I was working 2 or 3 days a week, ish. Which is what agency like. So I needed a cam belt, which cost a couple £100, or a cheap car worth £1,000. Right? Universal Credit's answer to that is 20 nights in a hotel, some emergency accommodation when the pandemic came in, fair dues, and then they've paid landlord for a year and a half. and all they had to do is give me a attachment to earnings for that 800 quid, 1,000 quid, so I could get myself a little car and live in it, as I was doing, and carry on working, because I wasn't actually unemployed. I never lost a job. I just couldn't. My car packed up, and I couldn't afford to do the vehicle repairs on it to be able to get to the work that I had to go to. That's universal credit for you. So instead of actually paying me £1,000 to get a car, and it's okay, it's not their problem to get, but it's their problem to get people in work. And now I've had to answer stupid work coach questions as to, are you looking for work? I was in work at the time. I was actually on the way to work, get my washing done at laundrette, so I could go to work the next day when my car packed up. In a job that I loved. Driving 7.5 ton van on agency. I can't work it out. Universal credit is just actually clueless. Proper clueless. I should be a work coach. I should be a universal credit work coach. I should. Because you couldn't be. You have to go by this rule, that rule, this regulation, monitor this person, monitor that person, leave this silly little code here. Oh. Facebook and Google will be the universal credit of the future. And they've got $1 trillion companies. And they're worth 50 odd billion plus personal wealth each. And then you've got universal credit. Proper incompetence. Adios.